What is up, guys? This is the Vale of Eternal Sorrows LFR guide. This is the first of 4 sections of LFR for the Siege of Orgrimmar, the last raid in the Mists of Pandaria expansion. If you do want to see a little bit more in-depth detail on some of the abilities and how they work, go ahead and head over to my YouTube channel, and I do have normal guides up for all of these fights. However, what I'm going to be covering in this video is simply how to get through each fight in LFR, which is completely different than everything else. So, immerseus is the first fight up. Immerseus, what you need to understand is that I am testing these abilities for you so you can see what they do to you while you're doing them. The Sha pools will knock, or the swirls will knock you up in the air and interrupt your casting, so make sure that you're avoiding those, as well as the Sha pools on the ground. You do need to make sure that you're not standing in those, as they will do damage. It's not significant damage, but they will do damage. So what you do in this fight is you burn immerseus down, and as soon as he hits 0 health, he goes into split, which is where he divides himself into all these pools. Now there are 2 kinds of pools. There's pools that you can target, and there's pools that you can heal. The pools that you can target, the heal or the DPS need to make sure that they're nuking those down. So if you're spread out around the room, make sure that you're picking a place where there's not many other people, so that you can DPS adds in that quadrant. Healers, same thing. Make sure that you're spreading out around the room so that you can heal adds. And that's the only thing you really have to do in that phase. Again, the biggest thing is to DPS the adds and heal the adds as much as you can, and then you just rinse and repeat this entire thing until you get the boss down to 0. So as you'll see, he comes back up with less health based on how many we killed and how many we healed, and you continue this process until the boss is dead. As the fight goes on, it does become more healing intensive and less DPS intensive, as there will be more healing adds that come out. So make sure that if you can help heal, that you're helping do that, especially as the fight goes on. But if you can do those things, you can get through this guy, and this immerseus should be no problem. I'm going to let the rest of this fight play out for you guys so that you can see exactly how we handled the rest of the fight, and I'll see you guys at the start of the next boss. Alright guys, for this second fight, this is the Fallen Protectors. So you have 3 bosses in this, and the way that you do this in LFR is pretty simple. You just pretty much stack them all up. You can pull one out and just face him away from the raid. If you do want to do that, you can do that. Otherwise, you can literally just stack them up, face them away from the raid, and cleave everything down. Now, once the bosses get to 66%, they will do their special abilities, and the same thing at 33%. So what you really need to do is just group them all up, AoE them down, switch to adds, burn all the adds down, and then you do the same thing at 33%. The biggest thing for LFR for this, you guys, is what you need to understand is at 66 and 33%, after you get through all these different adds, what you need to do is they need to die around the same time. So make sure that, again, if you're DPS, that you're hitting the highest health of the 3 main guys that are out, because you don't want one to die significantly before the other. That is really the only time you will see a mechanic that can really wipe your LFR. The rest of the time you should just be able to kind of stack up, burn these guys down, and you should be fine. Again, as you see here, none of the abilities are really going to one-shot you. Watch what you're standing in on the ground, but again, if you do stand in the Corrupted Brew, it's not a huge deal in LFR, but it is extra stress on your healers. Again, the big thing here is you want to make sure that you're always standing behind the boss and that you're not facing them all towards the raid. You want to make sure that they're facing away from the raid when you have the bosses, just for frontal cone abilities. The other thing that you have to understand is, obviously during this phase that you see here, is that you do stand inside the bubble, but if you're already all stacked, that's all you have to do. Make sure you're killing the adds first. Range stays on the outer adds while the melee cleans up the adds in the middle. So those despair adds, range, those are your priorities, and then you switch back and it's rinse and repeat until this boss dies. Again, if you want to see this, the normal mode abilities, go ahead and go through my YouTube channel and I will show you all the YouTube videos for the normal modes are in a playlist called Siege of Orgrimmar, and you can find all the abilities there and how we handled them in a normal mode. But again, for LFR, this fight, it's pretty much stack them and burn all the adds. The adds are the priority, however, in LFR, so make sure that you understand that. The adds must go down. They are the most important part. After that, then the bosses, and then once you get past 33% on all the bosses, you want them to die around the same time. Alright, for the third boss, we have Narushan. And what you need to understand about Narushan is this fight is really not that bad in LFR. In LFR, what you need to understand about this fight is he will randomly choose people who will go down into the phase. You start this phase with 75 corruption, which means you're doing 75% less damage to the boss. When you do get transported down, you want to kill the big ad, as you see here, and then you want to kill all the little ads. Now you need to be behind the little ads in order for them to take damage. So you need to get behind them, do the damage, and then just move on. Once you kill the big one, you go through the small ones, don't get hit by the abilities, and then it will port you back up. But again, they do have that deflection shield, so you do want to make sure that you are behind them during this phase, as it does get a little bit tricky. So just make sure that when you're putting your dots up that you're standing behind them after they cast, so you're not deflecting damage back into yourself. But once you're up top, what you want to do is, now that you have 0 corruption, is you want to make sure that you're damaging the boss, but it goes ads as the first priority, then boss. So you're always DPSing ads. When there's no ads, you're DPSing the boss. If you do have corruption and you haven't been chosen to go down yet, remember that if you're killing ads, you're actually doing more damage because you take 75% less. So watch your corruption, and then once it transports you down into that room, then you go through, you do your thing, and you come back out and start DPSing the boss. At this point in the fight, what you really want to do is, here's the beam. Now, you do need to move from this beam. If you literally run in it, I wanted to test it and see if it would kill me, and if you do stand in the beam for too long, it will kill you. So make sure that what you're doing is that you're just moving through the beam. If it ticks you once or twice, you're okay, but if you just stand in it, you will probably die with all the extra damage going out from the little ads that cast. So make sure that you're popping a personal cooldown, a health stone, whatever it is that you can do so that you don't do that. That ability will kill you in LFR if you stay in it for too long, compounded with the ads. So after that, guys, it's just pretty much, again, you kill ads, you kill boss, you kill ads, you kill boss, and you do this all the way until the boss dies, and that's really all you have to worry about. Alright guys, the last boss is Sha of Pride. Now Sha of Pride is a very, very fun encounter, and what you need to do is you need to stay stacked up together behind the boss, and what you're going to do is you pretty much just stay stacked the entire time. The only time you need to move is to break people out of prisons. There is an ad that will spawn behind you in LFR, so you do need to turn and burn that, but other than that it's just tunneling into the boss and moving out of the swirlies on the ground. Now as you can see here, the small ads don't really do any damage. The only thing that's really going to do damage is once people get a little bit higher corruption, you'll see big purple pools start to spawn on the ground underneath you. At that point you do want to just kind of move out of them so you don't take significant damage, but if you pop a personal cooldown you will probably live through it. I literally tried to just not move this entire fight and see if I could do it, and I could. But what you need to understand is you do need to break out the people in the prison. So as you see right here, those yellow markers, you need to go stand in those yellow markers to break people out. Once 2 people are standing in those yellow markers, then that person will be released, everybody stacks back up, and they get back on the boss. So really the priority is, stack up, kill the ad, kill the boss, break people out of prisons, and move out of purple on the ground. That's really all you have to do in LFR. And again, like I said, you don't really have to move in LFR besides just breaking people out of prisons, as you'll see in this attempt. But again guys, if you have any questions on any of these bosses, go ahead and check through the normal mode guide so you can see how we killed them all in normal. Otherwise, leave a comment, let me know how your group handled it, or if you have any questions for the LFR versions of any of these fights. Thank you for watching. Make sure you, if you do like the video and you found it helpful, that you're throwing it a thumbs up, and subscribing to the channel. It always helps. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next guide.